Dear ESE aspirant, welcome to ESE Online, digital platform of ESE Engineering Academy. We, the faculty of ESE Engineering Academy, we are going to discuss the detailed solutions for ESE 2026 General Studies and Engineering Aptitude, and the exam held on 8th February 2026. And come into this paper, and we have some subject experts, and we are going to give the detailed solutions. So just stay tuned. Okay, na? So dear student, welcome back. So today I am going to discuss the detailed solutions for project management, quality standards, engineering drawing, and design and safety. So first of all, before having the solutions, let us have the detailed analysis of various topics. So you can see the analysis here. Current issues and concepts of social, economic and industrial development, there were 10 questions. Engineering aptitude 15 questions, mathematics 16 questions. So this time mathematics having highest weightage, so compared to previous paper, but most of the questions are lengthy. And coming to design, drawing, importance of safety, drawing is dead easy, direct straightforward questions. Design also somewhat easy questions. And coming to standards and quality practices, there are 3 questions only and very straightforward questions. Basis of energy and environment, 8 questions. Those questions also very good enough and easy also. Basis of project management, 5 questions. 4 questions are very easy. And basis of material science and engineering, very simple questions from only a few chapters, selected topics only, and very easy questions. Information and like ICT, this time highest weightage 16 marks, maybe 16 questions. Ethics and moral values, 12 questions and straightforward questions. So coming to standards and quality practices in production, construction and maintenance and services, there were 4 questions, of course 1 question related to maintenance. So let us have the first question. Consider the following elements regarding quality characteristics. So there are 3 elements mentioned: physical, sensory, time based. So answer is 3 are under the quality characteristics. So answer is option D. Next question. So quality improvement in TQM, robust design, Taguchi loss function. So these 2 are basically quality improvement tools under TQM. So answer is option D. Next, it is related with variations. There are 2 types of variation: chance variations as well as assignable. Chance variations are very like minute and very difficult to trace, and assignable causes are generally the variations we can find easily. So answer is both 1 and 2. Next question related to maintenance. Corrective maintenance action. This is related to corrective maintenance. The second one also corrective maintenance. Preventive maintenance must be initiated immediately to restore the critical systems. Actually, preventive maintenance generally taking place before the failure. So this is wrong. So 1, 2 correct. So after the maintenance of machines, generally after failure means corrective maintenance only. Answer could be 1 and 2. Where is the answer? Option A. Next, basics of project management. There were 5 questions in basics of project management. The first question is temporary project as a beginning and end. Actually, project is a temporary endeavor with a start and end. Correct. Project as predefined work. Actually, project is not a predefined, it is generally dynamic one. So this is wrong statement. Project produces unique output. Project is basically outcome, like now it is going to give a unique product or service. So this is correct. So 1 and 3 correct. So answer is option C. Next, which of the following usually provides the resources, particularly human resources, like a people, like a generally experts? Functional manager is basically meant for providing or maybe arranging the human resources. So answer is option D. PET calls, like a PET is actually triple time estimate. 3 values generally we use: pessimistic, optimistic, and most likely. So answer is option D, 1, 2, and 3. Next, this is related with company selling its assets. Generally, the disposing the assets, it is called as liquidation. Answer is option A. And coming to last question, which of the following is not step under completion, project completion? Here problem identification is the first stage, it is not related with completion. So answer is option D. Option D is basically under initiation stage, not completion stage. And coming to the next one, drawing. Consider the following statement regarding the projection of point. The line joining the top view and the front view of a point is always perpendicular to xy. It is called a reference plane. Generally, front view, top view if you join, that is called as projector. So this is wrong statement. So 1 is wrong. Next, coming to second one. When a point is above the HP, so point is above HP. Okay, when you take point is above HP, so this is HP. Above HP, its front view is above xy. So if you see the front view, this generally this say point A dash. This is above xy line. So this is correct. When a point is above HP, its front view is above xy. When it's below HP, the front view is below xy. Suppose the point is here. So we are going to get below xy. So B dash. So this statement is correct. Second one is correct. And coming to third one. When a point is in front of the VP, its top view is below xy. When a point is in front of the VP, so in front of VP, say point is P, in front of VP, its top view is below xy. Top view is below xy. So when you take this top view is here, it's small p, below xy, correct. When it's behind VP, the top view is above xy. Suppose if you take here, and if you rotate this, so obviously it is above xy, correct. As the point is below HP and behind VP, that is the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, its front view will be above xy and the top view is below xy. It is wrong. Actually, when the point is in the third quadrant, front view is below xy line and top view is above xy line. But what was given here? The point is below HP and behind VP, its front view will be above xy, not above xy, below xy. This is wrong. So whatever correct here, 2 and 3 correct. So option B. Next question related to traces of a line. When a line is parallel to HP and the VP, it has no trace. When a line is parallel to HP means how do we show? Parallel to HP. A line is parallel to HP. Say this is a line, say line AB. It is not having any trace, so no HT for this. Next, when a line is inclined to HP and parallel to VP, it has only VT but no HT. When a line is inclined to HP, means automatically we are going to get HT. So the line is, say this is a line PQ. If you extend this, there is a trace. So it is HT is there. So this is when a line is inclined to HP, parallel to VP, it has only VT but no HT. So 2 is wrong. So if 2 is wrong, so whatever answer is 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, option B. Next question related to projection of planes. When a plane is perpendicular to both the reference plane, its traces lie on straight line perpendicular to xy. Both perpendicular means, like generally if the plane perpendicular to both, so it is just like now parallel to side plane. So there is a possibility of HT, VT, both are coinciding with xy. This is correct. When a plane is perpendicular to both the reference plane, its traces lies on xy line. When a plane is perpendicular to reference plane, its projection on that plane is a straight line. Any perpendicular to suppose HP, there is a trace. When a plane is parallel to reference plane, its projection on that plane shows its reduced shape. Any plane is parallel. Parallel means definitely we are going to get true shape, but he has mentioned reduced shape. This is wrong. So suppose you take any plane, parallel means suppose I am using one rectangle shape and this is a parallel to HP. If you take then true shape you are going to get. So not reduced shape. When a plane is, of course, 3 is wrong. 3 is wrong means obviously what about answer here? 1, 2 and 4. Answer is option D. Next question related to solids. When the axis of a solid is perpendicular to plane, its base will be parallel. So if axis is perpendicular, then how do we show this? Axis perpendicular, say I am just taking one cylinder, axis is perpendicular, definitely we are going to get true shape here. So this is correct. 1 is correct. The position of a solid on the plane which is axis is perpendicular will be the true shape and size its base. Projection of a solid on the plane to which axis is perpendicular will show the true shape and size its, like correct. True shape only we are going to get. When the axis is perpendicular to HP, the top view should be drawn first. Yes, correct. When the axis is perpendicular to HP, so which one is a true shape? Here we are going to suppose this diagram you take, perpendicular to HP, axis is perpendicular to HP, true shape is going to be in HP. So top view we are going to take first. Then after that we are taking the front view. So this is correct. And coming to fourth one, a solid in simple position, axis parallel to reference plane and perpendicular to other. This is not correct. Actually, you can take even the axis parallel to both the planes also. That means we are going to start with the side view. So in simple position, here perpendicular to other, it's not necessary. Even parallel to even both the reference plane also correct. So this is wrong statement. 1, 2, 3 correct. So option A. And this is related with the simple question, eccentricity question. Parabola eccentricity 1. So E is equal to 1. Hyperbola eccentricity greater than 1. Ellipse less than 1. So what about answer? Hyperbola P1, okay, P1, Q ellipse or parabola eccentricity is equal to 1. And coming to design, general principles of design. Here the question related to robust design. Robust design. Which one of the following statement comes under robust design in process design? Actually, we are talking about process. Process means which is basically process. You try to understand the process. A tennis racket is generally product. It is related with the product, so we cannot take it. A hospital operating room, this is related to safety, because when the maintains lighting and life support system, when the electric power is just like it is a back end, maybe it is only a safety related reliable system. It is no way concerned with this. An airplane that flies, this is also system design, it is related to product. A turning operation mentioned that produces a good surface finish irrespective of speeds. Any speed it is giving good surface finish, it is correct. So answer is option D, because we are talking about robust design in process. Which of the following is used to show whether or not the characteristics of a property of item complies with the stated specifications? Generally the specifications are mentioned, whether we are as per the specifications we have designed or not, we have to ensure. That is basically called as compliance test. Action taken after maintenance action to verify that the item is able to perform the required function. So generally we have to check whether it is serving the intended function or not. That is basically checkout. So function checkout. Which of the following technology is to monitor the condition of an object to decide maintenance based on that condition? So generally sensors technology. Okay, that's all about design, drawing as well as project management quality standards. Next, Madhushekhar sir will take care about material science.
Right. See, from the basics of material science and engineering, there are 6 questions they asked. Out of 6 questions, 5 questions are very, very easy, and directly they asked from the crystallography, that is the first unit. Now here see how many total number of lattice parameters are required to fully specify rhombohedral crystal system. See, rhombohedral crystal system has a lattice parameters A equal to B equal to C and alpha equal to beta equal to gamma, but they are not 90. So if you want to define a rhombohedral system, one lattice constant and one angle is required. So 2 independent variables required to define the system. So A is the correct answer. Now next, if A and C represent respectively the short and long unit cell dimensions of a hexagonal crystal, the ideal C by A ratio, see, it is related to hexagonal close packed structure. In hexagonal close packed structure, C by A value is under 1.634 actually, okay, 1.634. So out of these 4 options, only the one option, that is B, 1.634. Now third question, in the characteristics of cubic crystal, the planes and directions have same indices are always at the, suppose let us consider a crystallographic direction 100 and a crystallographic plane 100, I will take same indices I am considering. So if I consider a cubic type unit cell, let us consider, if I consider a cubic type unit cell, a plane and direction both are actually, suppose I will consider the coordinates here, coordinates horizon x, y and z, okay. So this is 100 plane, okay, this is 100 plane and this is 100 direction. So this is a 100 direction, this is 100 plane. So if you observe carefully, the plane and direction both are perpendicular to each other, so 90 degrees, okay, direction and plane both are perpendicular, so 90 degrees to each other. Now the next question, this question is related to face centered cubic structure, FCC structure. In FCC structure, there are, so you can take 8 atoms present at 8 corners and 6 atoms present at 6 face center. There is no body center atom, okay, 8 atoms at 8 corner, 6 atoms at 6 face center, right, at each face center 1 atom is present like this, okay. Now so here if I consider, if I calculate the effective number of atoms at every corner 1/8 of the atom, like that 8 corners, plus at every face center 1/2, like that 6 face center, so that you will get 4 atoms. Effective number of atoms are 4, but in the first sentence it is given the theoretical concept 8 corner atoms and 6 face center atoms, okay, good, but here it is given number of atoms per unit is given 6, so this is not correct. And the coordination number for the FCC structure is 12 correct, atomic packing factor 0.74 correct, and volume of unit cell 16 root 2 r cube. See, for FCC structure 4r equal to root 2a, right, a is equal to 4r by root 2, okay. Now volume of unit cell if I consider, that is a cube, that is equal to 4r by root 2 whole cube, right, that is 16 root 2 r cube. The volume is also correct. So that first statement is wrong, second, third, fourth statements are right. So C is the correct answer for this question. Now the last question, this question is this is another question, sorry, equilibrium number of vacancies. Remember, the number of vacancies is equal to number of atoms into e power minus energy by k into T. K is a Boltzmann constant and T is a temperature. From this equation you can say the number of vacancies increases exponentially with increasing temperature. So number of vacancies increases exponentially with temperature. So B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Now this is the last question. This question is actually from quantum dots, nanomaterial. See, quantum dot is a very smallest diameter nanomaterial. That size is 10 nanometer. Okay, it is used as a semiconductor, works with the wavelength actually. Here the three statements given, the first statement is correct, but it is not related to quantum data. Okay, first statement and second statement, both statements are correct, they are true, but they are not related to quantum dot. Only third statement is true and that is related to quantum dot, so that the option for this question is C. Okay, these are the questions related to material science. Next, our colleague faculty member will continue.
Hello students, so there were nearly 15 questions from engineering mathematics. Most of them were lengthy, so here I'll explain you in a brief way. So if you look at this is a very standard question. So if you look at this experiment where you repeatedly do a experiment until you get a success, where the probability of success is P, and when you look at expected number of what is the expected number of trials to get the success, the answer for that is 1 by P. So this we regularly teach you in the classroom. Now how is this question related to this? If you carefully observe, what is the expectation of number of failures preceding the first success? See here, this is about expected number of trial that we need to do till we get the first success. So it is 1 by P. Now he's just asking about the number of failures preceding the first success. So it will be like 1 by P, and then it's not about the success, it is about the number of failures preceding the success. So it is 1 by P minus 1. So which is 1 minus P by P, which is Q by P. This can also be solved in a detailed way. You can go through, will anyway upload the detailed solution. This is the best way to solve the problem. This is little lengthy problem. It says a deck of n numbered cards is thoroughly shuffled and the cards are inserted in n numbered cells one by one. If the card I falls in the cell I, we count it as a match, otherwise not. Then what is the variance of total number of such matches? This is little lengthy problem, tricky problem as well. Let's write like this. Let X represent the total matches. Total matches. Let's define something like Xi, where Xi will take 1 when the ith card falls in ith cell. So ith card falls in ith cell. So and this Xi would be 0 otherwise. So where I takes values like 1 to up to n, then if you look at the total matches, then the total matches is given by x1 plus x2 plus so on plus xn. So we are now interested to find the variance of this. So what is variance of this? We need to, if you look at this, this is like summation I from 1 to n xi. So it's not like x1, x2 are independent. If it is independent, it would be easy. So in this case, let's see what is expectation of x. Not expectation of x, I'm sorry. What is variance of x? It would be something like this. It would be summation I from 1 to n. It's like sum of the individual variances plus 2 times summation, let's say I1 less than I2, covariance of xi comma xj. So this is not xi comma xj, let's write this as x I1 comma xi2. So finding all this is little lengthy process actually. So I'll just give you some ideas like how do we find all this. If you look at xi takes only 2 values, one is 0, other is 1. Now what is probability of xi? This is how one finds expectation of xi in the second moment and the variance. So when does xi take 1? When the ith card goes to the ith cell. So the probability of this event is the particular card has to go to that particular cell, it is 1 by n. Now when this is 1 by n, obviously this is the complement, 1 minus 1 by n. What is 1 minus 1 by n? 1 minus 1 by n, is it n minus 1 by n? Now once you know xi and their probabilities, it's easy to find their expectation. So expectation 0 into this is anyway gone, and expectation of xi is 1 by n. Now if you look at expectation of xi square, that is also easy. It is 0 square into this plus 1 square into this, which is again 1 by n. If you look at the variance of xi, it is second moment minus the first moment whole square. It is 1 by n minus 1 by n square, which is n minus 1 by n square. The problem is not over, it is a lengthy problem. We just calculated variance of xi. So we know this, it is n minus 1 by n square and the summation runs n times. So we know how to simplify this. Now we need to simplify this portion. So where we need to find the covariance. So covariance of xi, let's write like this, xi comma xj. So what would be the covariance? It would be expected value of xi into xj minus expected value of xi into expected value of xj. We anyway know this expected value of xi, just now we calculated 1 by n. This is also 1 by n. Now how do you find this? So this is somewhat interesting. Expected value of xi into xj. Basically xi, xj take values 1 and 0. So when you want to find expectation of this, it is simply like this. It is 1 into the probability that ith card, so ith card, ith cell, and jth card, jth cell. So this is what you have to do, because plus 0 into any other probability is anyway 0. So what's the probability that the ith card goes to ith cell and the jth card goes to jth cell? It is ith card going to the ith cell is 1 by n into, since already one card has gone into the proper cell, you are left with n minus 1. So jth card going into the jth cell probability is 1 by n minus 1. So now we have this expectation of xi into xj. You need to substitute all this information here. So this will be like 1 by n into n minus 1, and then minus expectation of xi is 1 by n, again 1 by n. Now if you look at the summation, when you expand here, you will have nc two such terms. You will have nc two such terms, and then when you substitute all this information, now this will be like n into n minus 1 by n square, and this is 2 into nc2 into just now this value. If you simplify all of them, it turns out that the answer for this question is option A, that is the variance turns out to be 1. It was a very lengthy problem, not that easy as well. Let's go to the next problem. So here, what are they saying? This was one of the easiest question. The variance of y is given. So, and they also say that x1 and x2 are independent. So what is variance of y? It is variance of 3x2 minus x1. This is given as 49. Since they are independent, there is no covariance here, and you all know the properties here. It is written as 9 into variance of x2, and it is plus. So this is where you might go wrong. Plus it is variance of x1, which is now has to be equated to 49. They gave the other information like variance of x1 is k. So this is 9 into variance of x2 is 4. So this is 9 into 4 plus k equal to 49. This is 36. 49 minus 36 is 13. The value of k is 13. So this was one of the easiest problems. This is also little tricky. So maybe the graph will work here. So let's say this is origin. Let's say this is 1 comma 0. Let's say this is 0 comma 1, and he says x plus y lies between 0 and 1. So what do you mean by x plus y less than or equal to 1? First think about x plus y equal to 1. X plus y equal to 1 is a straight line which passes through this 2 points like this. So now if you look at this data, x is taking values from 0 to 1, y is taking the values from 0 to 1, and x plus y takes the values between 0 and 1. That means you are supposed to take values only in this region. So this is your sample space in simple words. Now what else is asking? He says, what's the probability of x plus y less than 1 by 2? First think about what is x plus y equal to 1 by 2. Again, this is a straight line. Let's draw with another color. It's a straight line which passes through these points like this. So this will be 0 comma 1 by 2, this will be 1 by 2 comma 0. This is like the favorable region. You need to integrate the joint PDF in this region. Now how do you write the limits? How do you perform that double integration is really a good skill that students should know. So how do you do all this? So I'll just give you the logic and I'll leave the integration process to you. So it's a double integral where let's do it like this. Let's use vertical strip where x is from 0 to, in this region the maximum value that x can take is 1 by 2. So it is 0 to 1 by 2, and then since he wants x plus y less than 1 by 2, from this you can write that y is 1 by 2 minus x. So y is basically from 0 to 1 by 2 minus x, and you have to integrate your joint PDF, that is 3 into x plus y dy dx. So this takes time, and I think I have the answer for this. You have to perform this double integration, so the answer turns out to be 1 by 8. They are all lengthy actually. And now let's look at this question. This is related to confidence interval, the length of the confidence interval, the margin of error. All these concepts come into the picture. An unbiased coin is thrown n times. It is desired that the relative frequency of the appearance of the heads should lie between 0.49 to 0.51. So it's talking about the sample proportion. What is the smallest approximate value of n that will ensure this result with 90% confidence? He also gives you the critical value of z, which is 1.645. So clearly the discussion is about unbiased coin. So when it is rolled large number of times, we expect the sample proportion value to be 1 by 2. And then he wants that sample proportion to lie in this interval 0.49 to 0.51. So now look at this. This is 1 by 2, which is 0.5. If you look at margin of error, so margin of error is that value which you will add to this and you'll subtract to this to create a confidence interval, or a confidence interval. So what is margin of error? So margin of error formula, we have a formula for margin of error. It is z into root of p into 1 minus p whole divided by n. So this is in the under the root. Now we want this quantity to always be less than or equal to, let's see how much. This is 0.51 and this is 0.5. So the error, if you want to know, so you subtract these two values. So if you subtract, this will be like 0.01. So all the time, if you maintain the margin of error to be less than or equal to this, then the sample proportion value or whatever you are estimating will lie in this interval with this confidence level. Now, is the z value given for the corresponding confidence level? Yes, it is given. Is this p known to you? Yes. When you substitute all of them and when you look at the value of n, so then you will know what's the answer. So I'll just write that condition 1 point. So what's the z value? 1.645 into root of 0.5, 1 minus p is also 0.5 divided by n. This has to be greater than or equal to 0.1. If you simplify this, you will get an answer which is close to this. Again, the calculations are very, very tricky. So I have explained you briefly, but when one solves, it will be a difficult task for them. And then we have one more question from this simple trigonometry. So look at this. He says sine square theta, cot is written as cos by sine, and then it is secant. So this product is 1, and then this and this cancels, you are left with just sine theta. So P matches with 3. So let's write like this, P matches with 3. Now when you cross multiply this is secant theta plus tan theta, so this and this cancels, and secant theta cancels, this value is 1. So Q matches with 4. And then if you write cot as 1 by tan, and then the numerator and denominator cancel, you are left with 1 by tan. 1 by tan is cot theta. So this R matches with what? R matches with cot theta. So where is cot theta? I think this is cot theta, which is misprinted. So R is 1. And then you can simplify the remaining part. Is this matching? P3 R1. So where is R1? So P3 R1. So I think this looks correct. Q4. Yes. So the remaining questions, Ravindra Reddy sir will continue with the discussion.
Now let us discuss the other questions of the mathematics part. Now this is the first question. What is the value of the integral? The following integral by Simpson's 3/8 rule. So we are asked to find the approximate value of the integral using the Simpson's 3/8 rule. The formula for this is integral a to b p of x is the approximate polynomial, integral a to b f of x dx. Any given integral is approximated by this, which is given by 3h by 8 into sum of the first and last terms. But here a equal to 0, b equal to 6, and h is already given. So n equal to b minus a by h. This is equal to 1. So this is equal to 6. So the number of points is 6. That number of intervals is the 6. So we can write the sum of the first and last plus 2 times of y suffix 3 plus 3 times of remaining terms y1 plus y3 plus y4 plus y5. So this is y2. Now this is the formula for writing the approximate value of the integral by using the Simpson's 3/8 rule. And we can calculate all these function values by using the table with the help of the function f of x. xi, for each xi we can get the yi, y equal to f of xi. F of x is this, x naught equal to, start with a equal to 0, that is x naught, 0, and correspond to this we get the y naught, x1 equal to x naught plus h, here h is 1, that is 1, next x2, next x3, next x4, next x5, next x6. Corresponding to this, we get the values y6, y5, y4, y3, y2, y1, y0. We can calculate all these using this function f of x, and we can substitute all this and we can simplify this. After end of the simplification, we get the answer like this. So A is the correct answer for this. Next, we go to next problem. If y suffix x is a polynomial for which the difference is, for which the fifth difference, that is fifth order difference is constant, and with these values we are asked to find the y suffix 4, y suffix 4. So from y1 to y7 values are given with one unknown y suffix 4. We need to find the one unknown y suffix 4. Already given that fifth order difference is constant. Whenever the fifth order differences are constant, the next order difference will be 0. So delta power 6 of y1 equal to 0. Fifth order differences are constant, then the next order difference will be 0 only. It is a forward difference operator. Now in easy way to calculate the value y suffix 4, we express in terms of shifting operator, that is same as e minus 1 power 6 y1 equal to 0. We are starting with the y1 because starting value is y1 and ending value is y7. In between we are asked to find the one unknown y suffix 4. Here the forward difference operator is the e minus 1. E is a shifting operator, and we expand and simplify this. E power 6 minus 6 e power 5 plus e power 4. Start with the positive sign, alternately write the minus, plus and so on, and then we write the quotients later. E power 3, next e power 2, next e power 1 plus 1 into y1 equal to 0. Quotients are 1, 6, 15, 20, 15, 6, 1. And then we operate it. We operate each one on this y1. And also we know that e power k y suffix n equal to y suffix n plus k only. Now using this we can write the each and every term. E power 6 will be operated on y1, and the resulting will be y6 plus 1 7 y7 minus 6 into y6 plus 15 into y5 minus 20 into y power 4 plus 15 into y power 3 minus 6 into y power 2 plus y1 equal to 0. Now sum of the first two together, the value is given. What is this? Next, from these two, if you take the 6 as common, y2 plus y6, that is also given. Next, from these two, if you take the 15 as common, then we get the y3 plus yp, that is also given. Substituting all this and simplifying, we get the actual answer 596.5. So this is the y suffix 4. Now next question is from the multiple integral topic, and it is a question from the double integral. The value of the double integral is, the limits are given directly, we can evaluate the integral. Limits are not specified for so and so variable, but the total integral is in terms of two variables x and y. By observation of these limits, we can choose the limits for so and so variable. These functions are given in terms of variable y, so these limits for variable x equal to this to this, and y limits are like this. But here these two are in the form of minus a to plus a form. Whenever the limits are like this, we can check the function is even function, odd function, dependent, we can simplify and we can evaluate the integral. Here x limits are variable limits, y limits are constant limits. So we start the integration with x and then stop integration with y. Here it is. This is function of y, function of x is 1. 1 is even function, because even function we can add the 2 times. After adding 2 times, this becomes y equal to 0 to root 2 2 times integral x equal to 0 to root of 4 minus 2y square. Y is also constant. We are integrating with respect to x. And here after integration this is just x and the limits are 0 to root of 4 minus 2y square to y, integral y equal to 0 to root 2 dy. Substituting the x limits and evaluating the integral with respect to y, at the end the answer will be and then the answer will be 8 by 3 on. At the end of simplification we get the answer like this, 8 by 3 on. Next, it is also a question from the multiple integral topic, but particularly it is double integral like previous problem. What is the value of this integral by changing the order of integration? Already limits are given, but we are asked to find the value of the integral after changing the order of integration. When you change the order of integration, first of all, here the order of integration is like this. These are the limits for variable x, these are the limits for variable y. So x limits are variable limits, y limits are constant limits. According to given order of integration, first you have to start with x and then you have to stop with y. But here we are asked to find the value of the integral after changing the order of integration. When you change the order of integration, then the limits will change. That is, we require the new limits of integral. With the given limits of integral, we draw the diagram. From the diagram, we try to find the new limits and then we evaluate the integral. Here the limits are, y limits are y equal to 0 to y equal to a, and x limits are x equal to y square by a to y x equal to y. These are the limits. Now with this we draw the diagram and then we try to find the new limits of new integral after changing the order of integration. Here the given order is starting with x, stopping with y. After changing the order of integration, we start with y and stop with x. Let us draw the diagram. Y is varying from 0 to a. Equation of or x-axis, y-axis. So equation of x-axis is y equal to 0. Equation of y-axis is x equal to 0. Y is varying from 0 to a. Y is varying from 0 to y equal to a. Let us suppose y equal to a. This is a strip or it is a region of y between the two lines. Now x equal to y square by a or y square equal to ax. This is in the form of y square equal to 4x parabola form. That is rightward parabola. But the parabola is like this, but we require the region only between these two lines only. So we consider only above x-axis. So y equal to root of ax. Y square equal to x, but in the positive quadrant or above x-axis y is positive. So we should take the y equal to plus root of ax. Next, other line is x equal to y. This is the line x equal to y. With the given limits or with the given order of integration starting with x, stopping with the y. But after changing the order of integration, we have to start with the y, stopping with the x only. So for this, the limits will be obtained by drawing the line parallel to y-axis or by taking the vertical strip. We can find the new limits on it. This vertical strip starting from this curve, ending with this curve on. So the lower limit for x is x equal to y. Upper limit for, or this we can write this as y equal to x. Upper limit as y equal to root of ax. From the equation of lower curve, we can write the limits as y limits. Here from the equation of upper curve, we can write the limits as y limits like this. Like this, we can draw the vertical strip from x equal to 0 to x equal to a. This is a point of intersection of these two curves. It is x equal to a. So finally, the new limits are x equal to 0 to x equal to a. And y limits are y equal to starting from x, y equal to x and ending with y equal to root of ax. With these new limits of new integral, we can write the integral. At the end of evaluation, the answer will be, this is the answer, a pi by 2r. Because here we are asked to find the change of order of integration. By changing the order of integration, changing the order of integration is changing the limits. After changing the limits, these are the new limits. These are the given limits, and we are changing the limits to this. With the given new limits, we can write the value of the integral. At the end, we get this. Now let us go to the next problem. It is also a question from the multiple integral, and also in particular it is double integral like previous two problems. So from the double integrals, we are given that three questions. What is the value of this integral? By changing into polar coordinates. Using the polar coordinates, we try to find the value of the integral. We are given integral in terms of Cartesian form x and y. We try to convert the Cartesian to polar form, and then we evaluate it, because here the region is circular region is given. These are the x limits, x equal to 0 to under root of a square minus y square. This is same as the x equal to root of a square minus y square, or x equal to, that is x square plus y square equal to a square. It is a circle, equation of circle. Here these are the limits, y equal to 0 to a. Circle, x axis, y axis, y equal to 0, x equal to 0, and the radius is a. So this is the y equal to a, and this is x equal to a. It is a circle, but here between these two, y equal to 0, between these two lines, y equal to 0 and y equal to a, whatever we have the region, over this region we need to evaluate the integral. This is the equation. So over the first quadrant, we require the value of the integral. So the given region of integration, of the integral is the first quadrant of this circular region of it. Because circular region, in easy way to evaluate, we try to convert the Cartesian to polar form. Double integral over r xy f of x comma y dx dy. It is a double integral in Cartesian form. It will be reduced to the integral over r theta, Cartesian coordinate system to polar coordinate system, f of, the transformation for Cartesian to polar form is x equal to r cos theta, comma y equal to r sin theta. To convert function of x and y to function of r and theta, replace x with r cos theta, y equal to r sin theta. Next, into modulus of j. J is the Jacobian of transformation from Cartesian to polar coordinates, dr d theta. Here the Jacobian is given by r for these two functions. Next, we require the r limits and theta limits. Okay, but here for the first quadrant of this, r will start from 0 and end with r equal to a. So r will vary from 0 to a, and for this first quadrant, theta will vary from theta equal to 0 will vary from theta equal to pi by 2. So theta limits are 0 to pi by 2. Right? So after substituting all these in this integral, we get the integral in terms of r and theta, and after the evaluation, at the end we get the answer, this pi a power 5 by 20. At the end of evaluation, we get the this. So to convert Cartesian to polar form, it is a transformation Cartesian to polar form, and Jacobian is the transformation from Cartesian to polar form. After the simplification, we get the r, Jacobian as r. Right? With these substitutions and these limits, we can evaluate the integral on. Because of the first quadrant of this circular region, theta will vary from 0 to pi by 2, and r will vary from r equal to 0 to radius vector radial line, r will vary from 0 to a, because radius is a of the circle. So this is about the 80th problem. Next, we go to next problem. Now it is a question from the linear algebra topic. Consider the following statements regarding cancellation loss. Let A, B, C, B, n by n matrices, all three are square matrices of same order n, we are given two statements and we are asked to check whether these two correct or only one of them is correct or none of them is correct, like this. Now the first statement is rank of A equal to n. Already order of the matrix is given, rank is given. The rank of this nth order matrix is given as n. For any square matrix, order, rank are same, the matrix is non-singular. The matrix is non-singular. Determinant of A not equal to 0, which implies inverse exist. Inverse exist. Once inverse exists, we can multiply both sides with A inverse. When you multiply A inverse on both sides of this, A inverse into A is I, A inverse into A is I. So finally B equal to C. So this statement is correct. For this given data, the statement will be correct. Because of rank of A is n, order, rank are same, matrix is non-singular, inverse exists. Once inverse exists, we can multiply the A inverse on both sides. So A inverse into A is I, then we get only B equal to C. This B equal to C is the correct statement. The first statement is correct. So neither 1 nor 2 is wrong. Then one of these must be correct. Now we check next statement is correct or not. Again, rank of A equal to n, same. Order same as rank. So matrix is non-singular, inverse exists. Next, AB equal to 0 matrix implies B equal to 0 matrix. In the product of two square matrices of same order equal to 0 matrix, one of the matrix is non-singular. One of the matrix is non-singular because here A is non-singular. AB equal to 0 matrix. In the product AB equal to 0 matrix, any one of the matrix is non-singular, other matrix must be 0 matrix. So this is correct. Next, again it is also correct or not. Next, AB equal to 0 matrix for two non-zero matrices. Other statement is, if AB equal to 0 matrix for two non-zero matrices, A is non-zero, B is non-zero, then A must be singular and B must be singular. The product of two non-zero matrices, is 0 matrix, then A and B must be singular. When A is singular, the rank of A n cross n must be not equal to n. Again, the rank of B n cross n must be not equal to n. Non-singular rank is equal to order, singular rank is not equal to order. So rank of A is not equal to n means rank of A is less than n. Rank of B is also less than n. So that is also given here. Rank of A is less than n, rank of B is less than n. So this statement is also correct. So finally 1, 2 both are correct. So with this B is the correct answer. Now let us go to the next problem. It is a question from the differential equation. It is a first order differential equation. It is not just y, it is y dash. Y dash means dy by dx. dy by dx equal to this. To find the solution of the first order first degree differential equation, we have many methods. The very first method is variable separable. Here the variables are not separable. The first method is not applicable. Next, it is not a homogeneous. Then we go to the next method, the exact method. We check the exactness condition satisfies or not by writing the m dx plus n dy equal to 0. M dx plus n dy. This y dash is same as the dy by dx. Now we do the cross multiplication and we write the m dx plus n dy. This is m x y square minus cos x into sin x into dx. After doing the cross multiplication, and if you bring this side, this becomes plus x square minus 1 into y equal dy equal to 0. This is m, this is n, because it is in the form of m dx plus n dy equal to 0. Now for this we find the dou m by dou y. dou m by dou y equal to, differentiate this function partially with respect to y. This is 0 function of x. It is function of x and y. With respect to y is 2xy. And for this function n, we find the dou n by dou x. The partial derivative of this function with respect to x, 2x into y, this is equal to 2xy. Both are same. Now it is exact. Because of this exact condition satisfied, we can do the problem by exact method. After finding the solution by exact method and applying the condition, we get the answer this. So finally we can do the problem by exact method. Once we get the general solution, applying the condition, we can get the particular solution. So then the answer will be like this. Or we can check this also. X equal to 0, y equal to 2, a cos 0 1, 4 minus 1 3, also satisfied on. Now this is about the 88th question. Next, the solution of the differential equation is given by. It is a question from the differential equation. The previous one is also question from differential equation, that is a first order, first degree. It is a higher order equation. In particular, it is a second order equation. The differential equation is given along with the conditions. So we need to find a particular solution. Because of the particular solution, if possible, we can choose answer just by verification also. The previous problem is also particular solution problem, but in that problem, most of the options will be satisfied with the condition. But here, this first condition satisfies only with the option A. When you substitute t equal to 0, e power 0, 1, e power 0, 1, 1 minus 7, minus 6 by 8, minus 3 by 4, plus 3 by 4, so equal to 0. This condition is satisfied with this. But here 1 minus 5 minus 4 by 8 plus 3 by 4 not equal to 0, not equal to 0, not equal to 0. This condition satisfies only with the option A. Therefore we can choose answer just by verification. So that is why A is the correct answer. Now this is the last question from the linear algebra topic. Again, direct question, it is a statement question. Which one of the following statements is correct in the context of quadratic form? We are given that quadratic form. V is a quadratic form, X transpose into A into X, where A is a symmetric matrix, real symmetric matrix. X is the collection of vectors, x1, x2, x1, x2 and so on, xn. It is a row vector transpose that becomes column vector. So it is a vector, vector, matrix, finally it is a matrix. And this matrix is a vector only. Because column matrix is a column vector and row matrix is a row vector. So finally you have to check this quadratic form is positive definite or negative definite or positive semi-definite or positive negative, negative semi-definite, like this one. Now to check whether the quadratic form is definite, positive definite or negative definite or positive semi-definite, negative semi-definite, just we require the eigenvalues. Depending on the eigenvalues of matrix A, depending on the eigenvalues of matrix A, we can set the statement is correct or not. First of all, for a real symmetric matrix, eigenvalues are positive. All the eigenvalues are positive. Then the quadratic form will be positive definite matrix only. All eigenvalues are positive. The quadratic form is positive definite quadratic form only. Suppose all the eigenvalues are negative, then the quadratic form is said to be negative definite quadratic form only. Suppose some eigenvalues are positive and at least one of the eigenvalues is 0. In such case, the quadratic form is said to be positive semi-definite quadratic form. All are positive, positive definite. Some are positive and at least one of the eigenvalues is 0, then positive semi-definite on. All are negative values, then negative definite quadratic form. Again here, some eigenvalues are negative and some are 0 or at least one of the eigenvalues is 0, then the quadratic form is said to be negative semi-definite quadratic form only. So depending on this, we can set the statement is correct or not. And also another statement is like this: if V is a positive definite quadratic form, then minus V is the negative definite quadratic form only. If v is positive, then minus v is the negative only. Reverse, vice versa only. If minus v is the positive, then this will be negative only. So with this, all these points we can check the statement is correct or not. Now first statement, negative definite. Now check whether all the eigenvalues are negative or not. But here all the eigenvalues are given that positive only. Whenever all the eigenvalues are positive, then the quadratic form will be positive definite quadratic form only. So this statement is wrong. Again here x is non-zero vector and v is zero vector, at least one of the non-zero vector. If and only if all the eigenvalues are non-negative, non-negative means not negative, that is positive, and at least one of the eigenvalues is 0. At least one of the eigenvalues is 0 and other eigenvalues are positive, then positive semi-definite quadratic form only. But here it is given that negative definite only. So this is also wrong. Next, v is negative definite, minus v is positive definite only. So according to this statement only, if v is a positive definite, minus v is the negative definite. If v is the negative definite, then minus v is the positive definite, vice versa only, with a corresponding condition on the eigenvalues of a. So if minus v is the positive definite, then v is the negative definite. The statement is correct. V is negative definite, minus v is positive definite. But we decide whether it is positive or negative depending on the matrix A, not depending on the minus A only. So here it is given that positive definite, positive semi-definite depending on the minus A only. So this statement is wrong. So finally C is the correct answer. So these are the questions from the mathematics part.
Hello everyone. So we are going to discuss about the background concepts of economy and current affairs. After this we are also going to discuss with the ethics and values. So together we got 22 questions. So economy and current affairs we got 10 questions and ethics 12 questions we got. Before we going into the discussion, maybe for a few students who are going to attempt for next year also, there are some observations that we can extract from this particular exam. Most of the current affairs that were given are from October, November, December 2025 current affairs. That too slightly from Press Information Bureau, which is a government website. So in recent years, UPSC is framing questions directly from Press Information Bureau. So it's a very advisable that whenever you are preparing for the next coming examinations conducted by UPSC, surely you have to follow daily Press Information Bureau news, right? So this is one important observation. And last year they gave static economy 8 questions, but this year we got only 1 or 2 questions from static economy, and mostly they touched from current affairs. Okay, and current affairs not only came directly from these things, they have touched environment, ICT. So current affairs is going to be a very important part for upcoming exam as well, right? So let's start with the discussion of the questions. First we'll take up the current affairs. So what is the name of initiative launched by India and Denmark in November 2025 to enhance the bilateral ties? So here this is a current affairs from international relations, a very difficult, because they have added India and Danish in almost all the options. But the answer here is Indo-Danish Business Council. So both the countries have signed this to increase the trade between the countries. right? So this is directly from Press Information Bureau. So answer is C for this. Next, which ministry has released the India Artificial Intelligence Governance Guidelines in 2025? So already we have India Artificial Intelligence Mission, already scheme was there, which is launched by Ministry of Electronics, MITI, we call it as a MITI in shortcut. So Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So as part of this scheme, they have released the guidelines, right? So this is the ministry which is responsible for managing the India AI mission. So again a straightforward question from Press Information Bureau. Next, which organization developed the online national drugs licensing system, ONDLS portal? This is a very tricky one and is also a trap. Most of the students, they see the drugs and they find out the drugs related organization here. So this is a kind of trap, right? So most of you might have chosen D, but the answer actually is CDAC, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, along with the Ministry of Health. So this is a kind of trap. Until you don't read this in a very detail, you cannot take a guesswork. So this is a difficult question, right? So answer is A, CDAC. Next, according to the Environmental Accounting on Forest 2025 report, this is given by Ministry of Statistics. Ministry of Statistics. Recently it was given. So again it is a very tricky question. What is actually recorded forest area? Recorded forest area means what is the amount of forest area in a particular state according to the government records. So they are not asking about the overall forest area, they are asking according to the respective government, state government's record which state has the highest forest area. So this is part of Ministry of Statistics report. This is answer is Uttarakhand. Again this is a very tricky because most of students will choose Chhattisgarh because of the Indian State of Forest Report 2023, but this is asking about recorded forest area, so which is Uttarakhand. Next, one defense related question we got. Where were the fast patrol vessels, patrolling means to oversee the activities in the oceans, Indian Coast Guard ship Ajit and Indian Coast Guard ship Aparjit were recently launched. They did not ask you who manufactured those ships, they asked you in which place it was launched. So again a very tricky question. Most of the Indian Coast Guard ships are manufactured by either Majgaon Docks Shipyard or Kochi Shipyard, but the answer is Goa Shipyard Limited. So again a Press Information Bureau question. So these patrol vessels were launched in Goa Shipyard Limited. Okay, answer is C. Next, what is the theme of Global Media and Information Literacy MIL Week 2025? This was asked from UNESCO website. So this is a international news we can say. Okay, UNESCO has conducted this Global Media and Information Literacy Week. So the theme was Minds over Artificial Intelligence, and then MIL means Media and Information Literacy in digital spaces. So answer is D. It is also a little bit difficult, until you read you cannot answer this kind of questions. Okay. Next, Samriddhi Gram Phygital Services Pilot Project was recently launched by which organization? This is also slightly taken from Press Information Bureau again. This was launched by Telecom Centers of Excellence. So we already have broadband network. So to spread the internet, especially in rural areas, so they have this organization has launched Samriddhi Gram Phygital Service Pilot Project. So they want to expand the internet in the rural areas. So Telecom Centers of Excellence. So this is the organization which was launched. Next, what is the name of National Digital Framework launched at India Maritime Week 2025 to make Indian ports linked to the artificial intelligence? So based on artificial intelligence, our ports need to connect all the data and then they need to work in a tandem, right? So the name was Digi Bandar, right? Digi Port, Bandar means port, so Digi Bandar is the initiative. Again a Press Information Bureau question. Next, this is part of economy, current affairs. According to Reserve Bank of India's report, which two countries together has accounted over 1/3? So more than 33% of India's FDI is coming from which two countries, they are asking. That too, it is related to the 2023, I think 23-24 report. So they have given. Okay. So here see, we have three important countries which are contributing more than 50%. USA, Singapore and Mauritius. So these are our, in the last decade they have contributed most of our FDI, and here USA and Singapore together they are contributing more than 33%, right? So we have United States and Singapore are the major contributors for our FDI. Next, which organization is responsible for implementing the National Beekeeping and Honey Mission? Very straightforward and very easy. From the options itself you can extract. National Bee Board, which is a government body under Ministry of Agriculture. So Ministry of Agriculture, Commerce, Ministry together they work with this. So National Bee Board is implementing the beekeeping honey mission. So under Sweet Revolution, okay. So these are all are from Press Information Bureau itself, direct questions. So these are all from the current affairs. Now we will discuss the ethics and values in engineering. See, this is a, after many years, like after almost 5 years they gave 12 questions and straightforward. So if you see ESE material also, almost all the questions are directly given from the book. So that means you can follow any resources, but the questions are very straightforward, and this is the most easiest subject I can say, right? So 12 questions they gave. Let's discuss one by one. First, consider the following statements regarding ethics. So ethics, what is the meaning of ethics? These are the set of standards kept by either any organization or society that individuals has to follow. That means rather than our selfish or self-importance, we need to follow the existing ethics which were set by the society, right? So that is the definition of ethics. Let's see what they have given. Ethics is to provide us with the moral principles or universal rules that tells us what to do. So set of standards what we have to follow. It is not our wish but the universal value. So this is a correct statement. Similarly, the fundamental question of ethics is not what should I do. What should I do means it is a self. So it becomes part of moral, individual level. But ethics is what kind of person should I be. That means what is society accepted from me. So that means it is a set of standards what it is expecting from me. So already it was fixed. So that means this is also correct. So answer is both 1 and 2. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding risk benefit analysis. So that means what is the risk I need to I'm taking, what is the risk I am taking and what is the benefit that I am getting out. So in this process of assessing the risk and benefit, so what I am assessing. So they have given few options. The major reason for analysis. So they are asking what is the reason to analyze my risks and my benefit out of my risks taken. So what I am expecting, what is the reason why I am doing this? To know risks and benefit and weigh them each. So I need to know my risks, I need to know my benefits. So this is correct. That is the purpose why I am doing the risk and benefit analysis. To decide on designs, advisability of product or project. So what design should I follow or what advisory I need to include. So this is also part of risk benefit analysis so that we can get the maximum benefit out of the project that we have taken up. So this is also correct statement. To suggest and modify the design so that risks are eliminated and reduced. Yes, see, when we are taking the risk benefit analysis, we need to reduce as much as risks possible in the beginning itself so that it will not result in any harm to our safety. Safety is the paramount in our ethical, in our engineering aspect. So to get the maximum safety, we need to minimize the risks. So that is the process which is part of also risks and benefit analysis. So answer is D, 1, 2 and 3. Next, intellectual property rights. So this we have discussed also in class. So intellectual property rights can be part of ethics as well as current affairs. So they have linked it to the ethics. The agreements with WTO, all the intellectual property rights at the international level are taken under TRIPS agreement, trade related intellectual property rights. So through this agreement, what are all we are following or what are all we are covering? They have asked it directly. Patents, correct. Copyright, yes. Trademark also yes, to protect our trade related aspects. Trade secret, that means to maximize my trade, what rules I am following. This is also covered under the intellectual property right. So all these 4 are part of TRIPS agreement, which India is also following. So answer is D again. So most of the ethics they have given all the above. It's very difficult to make the statements wrong. So that's why they have framed in this way. Consider the following statements regarding value education. So what is the value education? That means whatever the knowledge that we are gaining, we need to add the values. Values means the principles that humans has to follow to get the better society, right? So let's see what they have given related to value education. Value education is the part of education which deals with understanding one's participation in the society, in the large order, and thus ensuring it in the living. Yes, this is correct. We need to understand what is our role, in the education, and we need to follow that. So this is part of value education. Then the content of value education must all encompassing. That means it include all the dimensions of human being as well as the all levels of human living. This is the core value what Mahatma Gandhi has taught us. Our education should be value based education. That means how we need to treat humans, we need to know at all levels what values we need to know in the living human living, we need to know. So all these are part of again value education. So this is also correct. The process of value education is essentially a process of self exploration. This is correct. But self exploration, that means what we need to explore from our personality, does not include self verification, they are saying. So this is a wrong, because self verification means whatever the step we are taking, whatever knowledge we are gaining, we need to verify it whether it is suitable or not, whether it is beneficial or not. So self verification also part of self exploration. So they are saying that it is not part, so that therefore it is wrong. So answer is A. Next, reverence. So definition simply they have asked you. So reverence means it is a respect towards someone else, not because of their physical personality, but the societal personality that they have developed, like doctors, teachers, professional. This is part of professional ethics. Okay, so related to the profession. So they are saying reverence is the feeling of acceptance of excellence. Correct. So that means you are developing respectability towards others. That means a person has a respect because of his excellence. That means he has excelled in some skill or knowledge. So that's why he got the respect. So that is the actual definition of reverence. If someone has achieved the state of excellence, we naturally have acceptance for such person. Correct. So if some person has achieved some benefit, like let's say PV Sindhu has achieved some silver medal in the Olympics, so the person got the reverence. That means she got the respect from the people. So that is correct. This feeling of acceptance for excellence is called reverence. Yes. So this is also correct statement. So answer is D. Next, human values related question. Consider the following statements regarding fulfillment of relationships in the human values. So what values you need to fulfill when you are in relationship? You may be the life partner of someone else, you may be the brother, you may be the sister, you may be the mother, or you may be the father. What values you need to fulfill in a respective relationships? So they have asked this. So fulfillment of relation means what? What is the meaning of fulfillment of relationship? Ensuring the naturally acceptable feelings in oneself and sharing with the other. Correct. So that means you are naturally accepting the feelings that you develop and also sharing with the others. It can be love, it can be compassion, empathy, anything, right? So this is part of fulfillment of relationships. That is correct. Then living with responsibility with the others unconditionally. This may confuse you a little bit because they are saying unconditionally, but living with responsibility with others unconditionally, that means whenever you are taking up any role, it can be any government job, it can be father, it can be mother, any role you take, you should give utmost importance to what is your responsibility. Then only country will move in a better way, right? So there you should not consider any conditions. That means if the other person is perfect, then only I will follow the rules. No, it is unconditional, irrespective of others in which you are in relationship. It can be stakeholder, it can be mother, father, anyone. But with unconditionally, with no conditions, you should live with your responsibility. So this is a true definition of fulfillment of the relationships. So this is also correct. Making effort for mutual development, that means development with whoever you are in relationship, it can be mother, father, anyone. So mutual development should happen, that is one's own development and also helping others to develop. So that is also core feature of fulfillment of relationships. So all these three statements are correct and therefore answer is D. Question related to the harmony. Consider the following characteristics regarding harmony in the society. Understanding universal human order. Harmony means what? Living in peace, accepting others, that means promoting tolerance, acceptance. So that is called as harmony. So they are asking characteristics regarding harmony in the society. Behavior with human being, that means what is told by the society that a human has to follow. So if you follow, yes, you are in harmony. This is also correct. Continuous happiness and prosperity, materialistic things, right? So this is also correct, which you need to achieve harmony. Work with rest of nature, that means what the existing nature, you need to follow it. It is environmental ethics. So that is also part of harmony. So all these three are part of promoting harmony in the society, and hence answer is D. Next, who suggested pre-conventional, conventional and post-conventional level of moral development? That means this is proposed by Kohlberg and it was criticized by Gilligan. So this theory was proposed by Kohlberg. So what does he says? In a human, ethics will develop in three stages. That is pre-conventional, when you are immature. Then conventional, that means when you are adult, what you are learning. Then post-conventional levels, that means after mature personality, when you are old. So you automatically follow the rules, regulations. In the beginning, it follows on the punishments and rewards. Our ethics develop, for example, a child has committed some mistake, then teacher has punished. So he will come to know whether it is correct or wrong. So the mistake was corrected because he know that was a mistake. So this is what the Kohlberg has, put forward. Then in conventional level, that means at the adult stage you will learn to follow rules, regulations. And at the post-conventional level, no need to tell. It is automatically developed in the pre-conventional and conventional stage. So at the mature level, so automatically you follow the ethics. So this theory was proposed by Kohlberg. Directly we have discussed this in the class also, if you are an offline student class. And this was criticized by Gilligan. So these are the scoring questions, actually very less time taking, 10 seconds hardly. One more question from the theories chapter. Which one of the following inquiries seeks to identify and justify the morally desirable norms or standards that should guide individual and group? This is a normative theory. Normative. Norms means those rules that conventionally we are following since childhood, from family or from our schools, from whatever level. So it is a normative ethics. What ought to be followed? Norms. So it is a normative inquiry. Fine. So very straightforward question once again from theories chapter. One more question from theories chapter. From single chapter we got 4 to 5 questions. Never UPSC has asked this many questions from single chapter theories. Duty ethics theory was proposed by. So in ethics we have utilitarian theory and duty theory, rights theory. Duty theory was proposed by Immanuel Kant. This is a non-utilitarian theory or deontological theory. That means what does Immanuel Kant say? He says that just follow your duty. So that is the utmost important of ethics. So it is the theory was proposed by Immanuel Kant. Again one more question from theories chapter. Next, this is little bit tricky. Generally it is not covered in conventional books, so they have asked. This is a little bit difficult for most of the students. Who framed the ethical code for builders in 1758? So this was actually done from 1750, early 1752 up to 1760s. So this was proposed by Hammurabi. So as a lot of construction workers who are making mistakes in the building, so this to correct them, so this code was prepared, ethical code was prepared. So this is Hammurabi. Next, one more question from theories chapter, again a 5th question from theories chapter. Cost benefit analysis is an application of. So cost benefit analysis means what is our cost? Cost does not mean only money. That means what we are putting efforts and what we are getting out of it. So that is called as a cost benefit analysis. That means what inputs you are giving, what outputs you are getting. So in this is an application of what? It is a utilitarian theory. What does utilitarian theory says? That means whatever ethics, whatever rules we follow, it should give maximum benefit to the maximum people. So this was the utilitarian theory. So that's why whatever inputs we are giving, we need to get the maximum benefit. So this is part of the utilitarian theory. Again, one more question from the theories chapter, right? So answer is B. So that is about the ethics and values. So straightforward questions. So I hope you have learned the answers. Thank you. So our next faculty will explain the other subjects.
Hi students, good evening all of you. So here from ICT and energy environment, you are getting approximately 24 questions. Okay, so from ICT, totally they raised 16 questions. Next, in energy and environment point of view, they raised 8 questions. Here the interesting thing is, most of the questions are raised from static data. Okay, so that too, ICT in education. We covered ICT in education, satellite communication, next e-governance. But here in this examination, guys, most of the questions, especially from ICT, they raised from static data. That too from ICT in networking. Okay, so around 10 questions directly raised from the class notes. Okay, so it is very easy for EEE and ECE students, but somewhat difficult to mechanical and civil students. Okay, so here it is, the first one, energy and environment. So how much estimated amount of power can be derived from solid energy minerals of 1 kg of coal? Okay, so this is a basic concept. Actually guys, from 1 kg coal, we are getting approximately 24 megajoules of energy. Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 megajoules. If you convert this 24 megajoules into just like this, then approximately we are getting approximately, so 7, right? Approximately 7. Suppose if you consider a fuel, okay, so any kind of fuel, mostly here we consider fossil fuels, right? So that is nothing but coal. So from this we can directly convert, so 35 to 45%, its efficiency would be around 35 to 40% only. Okay, so we convert this much of energy directly. So that's why if you consider the maximum transmission is 40%, no? So 40% of energy, that to 7 kilowatts hour approximately, guys. Okay, so 0.4 it is, so into 7, so approximately we are getting 2.8. so 2.8 means option B, approximately B. Okay, so nothing but, so 3 kilowatt hour, so 3 kilowatt hour. That's why here the correct option is option B only. So here it is, the next question, which one of the following type of coal has highly calorific value and lowest volatile content? So this question directly raised from the class notes. Of course we covered in the classes. Okay, so peat, lignite, bituminous, anthracite. So in that, this is the best form of coal, and this is considered as the oldest form of coal variety. Of course it is also treated as treated as the hardest coal, no, based on bitumen content. So here it is having the bulk amount of carbon when compared with the remaining coal varieties. Okay, of course its calorific value is majorly high when compared with the bituminous and lignite and whatever it is. Okay, so that's why here the correct one is option A only, anthracite. Okay, so anthracite, next bituminous, next one subbituminous, next last one lignite. This is the order of calorific value. Okay, so high calorific values. Okay, right, so here it is the next question. A fuel cell is a fuel cell in electric car generate electrical energy by combining of. Yes, so in our classes mostly we covered different types of fuel cells. Okay, so different types of fuel cells. Of course guys, here we are using hydrogen as a fuel and oxygen is considered as an oxidizer. Okay, so here this is the fuel and this is considered as an oxidizer. If you burn these two chemicals, finally what we get? Water only. Okay, so water only. Yeah, so that's why here the correct one is option B, oxygen and hydrogen. Next, here it is the next question. Electrical power generation usually linked to the load demand by a common region or national network, often called, so generally it is called as grid. Here the correct option is option C only. Next, 1 kg of hydrogen fuel burns with 8 kgs of oxygen to give the product as. So again they raise this question based on the fuel cells. Suppose guys, if you consider hydrogen is a fuel, no? So here in this fuel cells, what is the oxidizer? Mostly oxygen. Okay, when hydrogen combines with oxygen, then what we get? Mostly water. Okay, so water. If you balance the equation, so we should consider like this: 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen. Finally we can get 2 moles of H2O. So actually it follows law of conservation of mass. It means mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, so mass neither be created nor be destroyed. So that's why here what did they rise? Mostly hydrogen. The weight of hydrogen is 1 kg. Next, the weight of oxygen is 8 kgs. So here mass is always constant. According to law of conservation of mass is neither be created nor be destroyed. That's why here 1 plus 8, finally what we get? So 9 only. So 9 kgs of water we get. That's why guys, here the correct option is only B. Okay, option B only. Okay, right, so next one. So which institution released the report titled India's Blue Economy Strategy of Harnessing Deep Sea and Offshore Fisheries? Actually it concerns to current affairs point of view. Here this report was published by Niti Aayog. Option B only. Okay, option B only. Next, so Lokwa Wildfire Sanctuary is located in which state? So it is also concerns to, of course it is an environment based question. So they raised from latest current affairs point of view. That too it was majorly highlighted in November. Okay, November current affairs. Here the correct option is option C only, Assam. Okay, so Assam. Next, so this is also one of the current affairs related question. Which state is home to India's first silicon carbide semiconductor manufacturing plant? Here the correct one is option A only. Okay, Odisha. So these type of questions are majorly raised from energy and environment. So here we covered almost all the static related questions, especially in energy and environment classes. So few questions raised from current affairs point of view also. Okay, right, so next one, information and communicational technology. So especially this year they raised 16 questions directly from ICT and ICT, that too static data. In 16 questions, around 12 questions are directly raised from static data. Okay, so that is the importance here. Here it is the first one. So in an RSA system, the public key of a given user E is equal to 65 and is equal to 2881. What is the private key of this user? Here the correct one is option B only. So for the detailed solutions, guys, shortly we will upload the concerned video. So here majorly I highlighted the concerned options, okay, the concerned correct options only. Next, here it is the next question. What happens if a K value used in creating digital signature algorithm signature is compromised? Okay, so here the correct option is option C only. A user's private key is compromised if K is discovered. K is discovered. Next, which one of the following is the time complexity of iterative deepening in uniform search strategies? Here the correct option is option C only. Option C only. Next, which one of the following algorithms is used in logic programming system which employ sophisticated compiler technology to provide very fast interface? Here the correct one is backward chaining, option A. Okay, so backward chaining, option A. Next, here it is the next question. Which one of the following is a disadvantage of call by reference technique of passing arguments? Here the correct one is option D only. Okay, so option D only. Here it is the next one. Which one of the following type of programming language is not used to develop the lots of content dynamically for server side scripts? Here the correct one is option D only, HTML. Okay, right. Next one. In which one of the following layers the firewalls can be installed to keep good packets and bad packets out? Here the correct one is network layers, option C. Okay, network layers, option C. Next, here is the next one. In cryptography, to construct an unbreakable ciphertext, which one of the following logical operation is used in one-time pads? Here the correct one is option A, XOR. Next, here it is the next one. Which one of the following digital certificate standards is used for certificate based authentication security framework that can be used for providing secure transaction processing and private information? Here the correct one is option D only, X.509. Okay, so these are all majorly raised from ICT in networking. Okay, so of course sir will cover all the content, especially in the classroom sections. Next, which one of the following IEEE standard protocol prescribes a data link level security which is designed to make the security of wireless LAN as well as that of a wide LAN? Here the correct one is option A. So IEEE 802.11. Okay, so this is the correct option here, option A. Next, question number 46. Consider the following statement regarding to quantum dots. So this question we covered in supercomputers. Next, artificial intelligence, quantum computers. So we discussed the topic. Now in that we directly covered this concept. Of course, here qubit, the term qubit actually we derived from, okay, so photons, either photons or we can also consider from neutral atoms. Okay, so that too at absolute temperature. We have to maintain absolute temperature to get the accurate values. Okay, next we can also consider the spin of electron. That's why guys here these three options are correct. Option D is the correct one. Option D, 1, 2, 3. These three statements are correct. Due to that, here the correct one is option D only. Option D only. Okay, right. So next one. 5 rotors are to be connected in a point-to-point subnet. Between each pair of rotors, the designers may put a high speed line, a medium speed line, a low speed line, or no line. If it takes 100 meter-seconds or computer time to generate and inspect each topology, how long will take to inspect all them? Here for this question guys, the correct option is option D only. Okay, option D. Right, so next one. A group of N stations share to 56 kbps. Okay, here pure Aloha channel. Next, each station output 1000 bits frame on average once every 100 seconds. Even if the previous one has not yet been sent, what is the maximum value of n? Here the maximum number of maximum n value is 1030 stations. Okay, so for detailed solution we'll upload the video. So here the correct option is option D only. Next, which one of the following protocol is suitable for IoT communications that through it was originally designed to support IEEE 802.15.4 low power wireless network in the 2.4 gigahertz of band. So here the correct one is option C only. Option C only. Next, which one of the following statement is related to key feature of threat radar reputation to prevent DDoS attack on cloud infrastructure? So here guys, the correct one is option A only. Okay, so threat radar reputation service keeps track of users who are attacking other websites. So by using this information, it will filter off any request from other users and prevent them from getting into the cloud system. So here this is the correct option for this question. Next, so these two questions are majorly raised from current affairs point of view. So here it is, NE Sparks program has been launched to promote awareness about which field among students of the northeastern region of India. Actually guys, NE Sparks stands for Northeast Student Program for Awareness, Research and Knowledge on Space, who are existing in the region of Northeastern region. So that to promote science related, space related courses or activities, whatever it is. Okay, so ISRO launched this mission. Okay, ISRO launched this mission. Because of that, it is completely related to space, science and technology related program. Na? So that's why guys, here the correct option is option B only. Option B only. Next, so which space organization launched Punch space mission? Actually this question is also related to current affairs, but it was majorly highlighted in the news, that too in the year of 2025 April. Okay, so you can observe Punch space mission. Okay, so here which space organization launched the Punch space mission? Actually Punch stands for, here it is, polarimeter to unify the corona and heliosphere. So from sun we are getting the coronal mass ejection. Na? Of course you already have an idea about coronal mass ejection. We covered these kind of concepts especially in the solar missions. Okay, so how this coronal mass ejection can form, what are the disadvantages, what are the major impacts of coronal mass ejections. Okay, so actually the mission aim is to image the solar corona and solar wind, how these type of derivatives are majorly formed. So to know about almost all these things, this mission was launched by NASA, so National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So here the correct option is option B only. Option B only. So these are the questions guys, majorly raised from both ICT and energy environment. So this time maximum questions are majorly raised from static data. Okay, thank you. Next faculty member Srinivas Chaudhary sir will continue the class. Thank you.
Ready. Hello friends, I am Srinivas Chaudhary. Would be dealing with the part of engineering aptitude. This year the number of questions that have appeared from engineering aptitude are 15 in total. There are totally 15 questions from this area. The question paper I can say, like out of that 15, so 12 are sitters, I can say direct questions. The remaining 3 are a little bit complicated, right? Let's start with the first one, question number 61. The army has been alerted in the district of following floods triggered by incessant rains. So there was a continuous rain, there is a statement, there is a situation. They are supposed, like they are giving some course of actions over there. 3 course of actions have been suggested. Relief to flood affected people should be arranged. Second one, supply of food articles should be arranged. Third one, adequate medical facilities should be arranged. So in this particular situation, this is a problem related to decision making or course of action. This might be discussed in your critical reasoning faculty in your classes. So whenever a situation is happening, what are the possible course of actions that you can follow so that will solve the arising problem? That's what they mean by. So here in this particular situation, whenever the flood is taking place, so definitely we have to first go for flood affected people, relief should be arranged. After that we have to supply that food articles for them, that also will follow, as well as we have to give adequate medical facilities for them, because the they may be that may be leading to some like diseases which may be contagious and all. So that's the reason why whenever this particular situation is happening, all the 3 course of actions do follow. Hence your answer has to be what? All the course of actions follow. That should be option D. This is from a critical reasoning part. There were 2 questions from English part this time. One is critical reasoning, this is one. There is one more word analogy also. Question number 62, this is from direction sense. Ramesh starts walking from point A. He walks 12 kilometers towards north. From there he turns right and walks 4 kilometers. So this person is walking 12 kilometers towards north. So this is how he is walking. First 12 kilometers he is walking towards north. Or walking 12 kilometers towards north, he is turning to the right. Right. 12 kilometers right, straight north he is walking, then he is turning to the right and walking 4 kilometers, then again turning to the right, he walks 9 kilometers. From here he is turning to the right and again he is walking 9 kilometers over here and stopped here. What is the distance between the starting point and ending point? So A, B, C, D if you mark. So here, as the person final position is not in line with the starting position, we have to go for the distance between the points as the diagonal distance. Based on that logic, just join this and apply Pythagoras theorem. You can join like this or you can join like this, so it's up to you. So whichever is convenient to you, do that. So if you are joining this way, so that will give you a right angle triangle over there. So this gives you, as this is 12 here and this is 9, this has to correspond to 3. From here to here it is 4, here also it is 4. So this will be how much? So based on that Pythagoras theorem, we can solve it and get the answer. So for that, answer would be how much? 5 kilometers. So from this point, the person is falling in which direction? Between north and east, I can say, that is northeast. So 5 kilometers northeast. Hence your answer has to be option D. Next, coming to 63rd. Indicate what will be the letter or numerical in the missing portion. So you just have to find the value that comes in the missing portion over there. Now observe, in this case if you observe this, start from here, D. D is letter 4, this is F is 6, I is 9, next K is 11, N is 14th letter, question mark we don't know, S is 19, U is 21. Now the letters in the outer circle are increasing by 2 here, 3 here, 2 here, 3 here, alternately 2 and 3 difference is coming. So next difference must be 2. So this has to be what? 16th letter. Hence I can say 16th letter is P. Your answer should have P in it. So you can eliminate options B and C. You are left with A and D. Right? So the sum of the letter outside and inside is adding up to 27 always. Just check. 27 here, this is also 27, this is also 27. If that is the case, if it is 16 here, it should be how much inside? 11. Hence it has to be what? P by 11. That should be option A. Right? Next, problem related to word analysis, and this is related to English subject. So here they have given the question below contains two pairs of words with a relationship. Find the missing terms. So onomatology, and they have given a blank one, and the second one is the science which is related to language has to be taken over there. So here onomatology is a like a science which deals with the origin of names, hence this has to be what? Names. This is a subject related to study of names and names origins. So onomatology is a study of names and its origin, so it should have E in it. So look at the options which are having E. First place should be filled with E. So there is only one option which is having E over there, so that should be your answer straight away, right? So next, which is the science that deals with, which is the study of languages. So which is the study of languages? Semantics is something which deals with the languages, hence your answer has to be what? Here in place of 2 you should get semantics over here, in place of 1 you should get names, hence your answer has to be what? EQ, right? Next, problem number 65. This is related to cubes and dice. So for this one, so answer is option A. So detailed solutions will be uploading, you can download it from our website. Next, coming to 91. This is also a simple one. There was a similar problem. We have discussed the same model in class where we were talking about inserting the missing character. In that inserting missing character chapter, we have discussed a problem similar to this. And there was a problem which has appeared in GATE which was based on the same logic. The logic is the middle number is average of the numbers on either side of it. So that 4 is equal to, not average, half of the sum of the numbers on either side of it. 7 is half of the sum of these 4 values. So that 7 is equal to half of the sum of 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 by 2. Similarly, this question mark will be what? So the question mark will be what? 7 plus 3 by 2. Hence it should be 5. That should be option C. So consider a square of side 6 cm. A circle is inscribed inside the square. Another circle circumscribes the square. The ratio of the areas of the inscribed circle to circumscribed circle is what? So here the same model we have discussed in geometry and mensuration chapter in classroom. I told you clearly, whenever you are having any square, if one circle is inside the square and one circle is circumscribing it, the ratio of the areas of the inscribed to circumscribed, I told you the area of the circumscribed circle is always double the area of the inscribed circle. So here they are asking you for the ratio of the areas of the inscribed to circumscribed. Hence they are asking you for the ratio of inscribed to circumscribed. Hence it will be what? 1:2 straight away. Hence your answer has to be option D. This can also be done by one more way. So when I go for the ratio of the diameters over here, the diameter of this particular inscribed circle will be side of the square, whereas the diameter of the circumscribed circle will be the diagonal of the square. So here the side of the square is 6, diagonal of the square is 6√2. So the diameters of the inscribed circle and circumscribed circle are in the ratio 1:√2. If the diameters are radii are in the ratio x:y, their areas will be in the ratio of x square is to y square. That is the logic we have learnt. Based on that, I can say areas will be in the ratio of 1 square is to √2 square. Based on this, I can say that is 1:2. That is another way of looking at it. Right? Problem number 93. So what does this diagram demonstrate? So if you observe it carefully, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6 blocks. So the diagram is demonstrating what? So if you are adding this one, this will add up to the sum of the first 10 natural numbers sum. So the sum of first 10 natural numbers, that will be what? Option B. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2 is what we can say. Either you take this or this, they represent the same. Right, dear? Next, problem number 94. For this one also, if you take this is 16, this is 18, this is 22, this is Q, is 17, U is 21, question mark is what? So here the difference is plus 4, difference you can take here is plus 4. So 21 plus 4 is what? 25. 25 will be which letter? Y. Right. Next, the following figure represents a circle inside a square. What does the diagram establish? They are talking about the value of pi over here, pi over here. Okay. Now going ahead with. So here we know that in this one, how can you establish the relationship between pi and a number? So how we can do? This is a circle inside a square. Definitely we are very much sure that the diameter of the circle is equal to side of the square. The side of the square is S, diameter will be equal to S only. Radius of the circle will be equal to S by 2. Radius of the circle will be S by 2. If that is the case. Now going ahead with here. Now I am very much sure that the area of the square will be definitely more than the area of the circle. Area of the square will be definitely more than the area of the circle. So area of the square is what? Side square is definitely more than the area of the circle. So pi into radius of the circle is S by 2. S by 2 whole square. This gives you S square is greater than pi into S square by 4. So here S square gets cancelled. We can say that 1 is greater than pi by 4. From this I can say 4 is greater than pi. From this I can say pi is less than 4. Pi is less than 4. So which option is that? That should be option A. Right. So please look at only the key for now. So we will be uploading the clear-cut solutions in our website. You can download it from there. Due to time constraints, we are just going for giving you the key only. Right. 96. A rectangular area of side 9 and 6 units is to be covered by square tiles of sides 1, 2 and 5 units only. The minimum number of tiles needed for this is what? To minimize the number of tiles, we will try to put the maximum size square tiles that are possible first. So if you take this one, this is the square we are having. That is the square we are having. In that one, if you are trying to place the square tiles 9 by 6, 9 by 6. So 9 by 6 if you take, the biggest square tile you can put over here is what? 9 units over here, 6 units over here. So 5 units square tiles, how many I can put? Horizontally I can put 1 only. To second one if I put, that will become 5 plus 5 will become 10. So I cannot place 2 square tiles over here of size 5 units. So one 5 units square tile I will try to put. 5 units square tile I am placing over here. 1 square tile I have kept here. 5 by 5 square tile. So after placing 1 tile over there, I am left with this area. That area if you observe there, so here this one again. This one if you take, this is 6 units over here. I have covered 5 units over here, means I am still left with how many units? 4 units. So this is a 4 by 6 rectangular area I have. That I have to cover. Now I cannot place any 5 unit square tile over here, because here the leftover size is only 4 units. So I cannot place 5 unit square tile over there. So the maximum size of the square tile I can place over here is what? To cover this area, that is 4 by 6. I can use only 2 by 2 square tiles. That is the maximum size I can take. Because 5 unit square tiles I cannot take, 2 unit square tiles I can take. So here if I go for, so how many tiles will come? So 2 into 3, that will give you how much? 6 square tiles will come. 1 plus 6. 1 plus 6. So 1 plus 6 is what? 7. Now we are still left with this place. Now this place needs to be covered. What is this place over here? This is 6. Out of this 5 units is already gone. This is 1 unit here. This is 5 units. I am having a rectangular area over here which is having a 1 into 5 size. So the maximum size of the square tile I can use over here to cover this one is what? 1 unit only, 1 by 1. So that will give me how many tiles over there? 5. So 1 plus 6, 7. 7 plus 5 will give you how much? 12. So the minimum number of square tiles I need to cover this entire place is how much? 12. Hence your answer has to be option C. Next, this is another problem from distance and direction. So we have seen 2 questions from distance and directions, 3 questions from geometry mensuration out of 15. 5 questions are from those 2 topics only, right? Nandini walks a distance of 1 kilometer towards north, so she is walking 1 kilometer towards north. After that, she is taking left turn and walking another 1 kilometer. So from here, she took a left turn and walked another 1 kilometer, 1, 1. And then she is turning to her right at an angle of 45 degrees and moving. In which direction is she walking, they are saying. So she is walking in which direction? So here, if you observe it, from here she is moving in this direction. So what is the direction representing? West and north. So between north and west it will be what? Northwest. Hence I can say finally she is moving in which direction? Northwest. Next, problem number 98. This is related to like scheduling. They have given the subjects and the scientists who are dealing with those subjects, right? Now if you go for arrangement over here, you just have to go for arrangement over here. After arrangement you will get the order as B, C, D, F, right? Next, 99. The following, if the following question is based on the alphabet series. So here they said if every alternate letter starting from B of the given alphabet is written in small letters. So every alternate letter means second letter, fourth letter, sixth letter, eighth letter. So all the letters that are at even positions are written in small letters. All the other letters are written in capitals. So which, like how will you write September in that code they are saying. So September, if you take September, S is actually 19, E is 5, P is 16, T is 20, E is 5, M is 13, B is 2, E is 5, R is 18. All the letters which are having even place value are written in small letters. So those letters which are having even place value are written in small letters. So 16 is small letter. So P should be written in small letters. T is also written in small. B also written in small. R is also written in small. Remaining all should be written in capitals. So if you go for the other letters over here, this S should be capital, E is also capital, right? This E is also capital, M is also capital letter, E is also capital letter. This is how you should write. So match that. S, C, P, T, E, M, B, capital E, smaller. So that is matching with which one? Option B, right? Next, last one. This is another selection based problem, decision making we call it as. For this one also you can directly answer it. So you read the entire data. On the basis of the above criteria, which of the following would definitely not be permissible? So if you look at this option C, Amitava failed in English, but because he ranked 9th overall out of 100 students, was awarded an A grade. If you observe this condition one alone, that's enough for you to answer it. All the students who scored between 90% and 100% in any 2 examinations could receive an A. Any 2 examinations could receive an A. They also have given one more condition here. Notwithstanding 1 and 2, if any student failed a paper, the highest he or she could get is B. As this fellow has failed in B, failed in English, he cannot get A, that is impossible. As he has failed in one of the subjects, the highest grade he can be awarded is only grade B. So he getting grade A is impossible. Hence I can say this is impossible. Hence your answer for this one should be what? Option C. So this is the key for the 15 questions that have appeared in our engineering aptitude part. So we will be uploading the clear-cut solutions, detailed solutions on our website. You can download the solutions from there. Thank you and wish you all the best.